Good morning, everybody, and sorry to say this morning we had a late start. Came to StreamYard this morning and found the program I had scheduled today was removed from my program list. So the powers that be strike again, everybody. They have tried to silence us after our discussion yesterday. But they didn't win. We're back. Okay, and we're going to bring up some subject matter that is very sensitive to a lot of people, and we're just going to get into the thick of it after the disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer is this channel may use some copyrighted materials without specific authorization of owner, but contents that it falls under the Fair Use Act. Okay, now the Fair Use Act is the Copyright Act of 1976. Nighthawk Strange, this podcast channel, and all the podcasts on the channel declare fair use of any and all content to be used for the sole purpose of informing you, the viewing family, of information for educational purposes, criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, research, parody, and general knowledge only. And let's not forget the entertainment value, because we all know how I am. Under Section 17, Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, otherwise known herein as the Fair Use Act. Okay, let me get that off of there. And let me see here. What do I want to put up? You know what I want to do? I want to do introductions first. Let me go back here to the comment section because I got to say hello to everybody and to Eric. We have Eric on the line here, and let's get this picture off of here first. Yeah, something's going on with StreamYard, Eric, because they're really, yeah. I don't know if they got bought out or what.
I don't know, man.
Something's definitely going on because I can't even hardly control this computer right now.
Yeah, I came on this morning. It wasn't there. It's like, okay, what's going on? And then all of a sudden it kicked me out. And I was no longer a co-host of your show. Then it kicked me out completely. Had to log back in, enter a code to log back in, and then all of a sudden everything was normal. I was like, okay.
Yeah. I just think that they didn't want us to talk today. They just didn't want us to talk today. You know, guys, hello, Corey, Roxanne, David. Who else we got in there? Let me see here. Cynthia, good to see you. Amber, good to see you. Let's see here. I'm already losing my voice. Melissa, good to see you. Let's see. I guess that's it. Yeah, that's everybody so far. If you haven't already, if you could share this out and like it, and make sure you're subscribed still, because I don't trust Google, YouTube, or StreamYard, because right now it seems like all three of them are working together. So if you all could do me that favor, that would be great.
Morning, Jessica.
Well, I had some subject matter that I wanted to. Good morning, Jessica. Good to see you. I had some, and look at that. Wow. Yeah, they are definitely messing with our signals. This is the strongest signal I had, but yet you disappeared completely off the screen, Eric. That's weird. Okay. All right. Oh, let's see here. I had some subject matter that's kind of sensitive to talk about with people, especially those that love your pets, because your four-legged children are your children. Okay, whether it's a cat, a dog, a mouse, you know, or you could have a snake with no legs. I mean, it doesn't matter. Your pet's your pet, and they're your children. Okay. But I want everybody to think about what would happen if something happened to your foreleg, and they just completely disappeared without a trace. And the reason I ask it in that manner is because somebody we all love and respect, and is a good brother of mine, has lost um, a couple of his four-legged children, and to have them completely vanish without a trace. Okay, and you're talking two guys that know how to track things. I mean, I could track a mouse in a swamp. That's pretty good how my tracking skills are. I had the nickname in the military Bloodhound. How good I was. But you know, I've always told everybody there's things out there that we try to warn people about. Especially those that we care about. Okay, Juno, good to see you. Good to see you, brother. But sometimes we kind of get a little too relaxed, okay? And it's not because we don't care about our loved ones, we do. But that's when the darkness takes over and takes advantage of our lapses, okay? Um, Eric, would you like to? I mean, it's up to you if you want to bring it up um, and talk about it, because I know it's a sensitive subject. But you know, we hear it quite a bit that people see things in the skies. And, I'm not even just talking UFOs, I'm talking Thunderbirds. I've had an encounter with the Thunderbird one time, and got a very good look at the size of it. And to tell you the truth, folks, it was bigger than a Cessna airplane. And it is terrifying to see it 100 feet in the sky above your head because it shadowed the sun. I mean, there was like no sunlight where its shadow was. That's how big this thing was. It was like an airliner coming in, like a DC-9 or a DC-10 coming in for a landing. That's how big this thing was. So, and we have them around here. We have one that goes from basically the Philadelphia area of Pennsylvania on into West Virginia and Virginia. And then in West Virginia, just a short ways away from us, we have what they call snallygasters that are or looking like pterodactyls. Okay. I know where Juno's at. And I know where Corey's at. They have the same things. They have these giant winged beings that come down and they can either leave you alone or they will try to eat you or carry you off. They have been seen carrying off deer, elk. I mean, and you know how big an elk is. They're like 9 feet at the head. Level, and then with the antler rack, they're like twice as big as a antler rack of a regular buck. They're massive, okay, and they have been seen in the clutches of thunderbirds as they fly away. Thunderbird has been spotted all over the United States, including Alaska and Canada and parts of Mexico. So my heart goes out to you, brother. If you want to go ahead and just talk about it, and we'll go from there. Okay.
All right. I'm sorry. I keep hearing some thumping. That's why I'm looking over my shoulder here. Sounds like somebody walking around, and I'm the only one here. That's why I keep looking out there because I keep hearing something thumping. Ozzy Sue, my gosh, it's good to see you. Hello. So yeah, I kind of talked about it a little bit last night.
Yeah, very good to see Ozzy.
For those you guys, I mean, you guys have seen Thor on the show. My pet, he's my buddy. That's my boy. Him and Romeo's been missing for about 6 days. My daughter came home from school, let them out, and they know my vehicles. They know my bikes. They know my trucks. They know my car. And every time they hear me coming, they're usually following me down the drive, which I'll admit is aggravating because I'm trying to drive and you guys are jumping in front of my truck. Just it was a deal with daily ritual we always did. Then they'd wait for me to open my door, and of course they'd jump on me. He's like, "I've missed you," So, that's it. And then, of course, Thor thought he was a big lap dog, and I always called him my warm, squishy little foot pillow because he was laying at my feet all the time. He's just a pit bull. He's my buddy. But when she let him out and I came home, I was like, I don't see them. Well, this is okay. This happens every great once in a while. I'll wait. Normally they'll come back. Hey, Kyle. Normally they'll come back, and later on that night, still no hiding or hair of them. I was like, okay, something ain't right. I was like, okay, maybe there's a female in heat somewhere, and they'll be out doing their male thing and come back. Well, it's been like I said, around 6 days now, and still no hiding or hair of them. Of course, I keep getting the feeling snatched, which I know Romeo's not going to. Romeo definitely would not jump in somebody's vehicle. Romeo don't like nobody that he don't know. And Romeo is the lab pit mixed. And he's my buddy too. He's a pushy guy. He demands attention, and he's going to nudge you until you give him attention. I mean, that's just Romeo's mentality. He's a lover. That's why his name was Romeo. Of course, Thor is, typical pit bull. I miss him. But yeah, I mean, I can't, I've been in the woods. That's part of the reasons why I was out in the woods last Sunday. Oh, God, no, I guess it's been more than 6 days now. Because it's part of the reason why I was out mushroom. Thank you, Ozzy. You're awesome. Now, part of the reason why I was out in the woods mushroom hunting Sunday was because I was trying to find traces of them. I know where they roam, and because they love to roam the property, making sure nothing's coming on that ain't supposed to. That was their job. They're the protectors of the home when I'm not there. And
right.
No K sites, no hide, no nothing. I mean, just going.
Now, that is not unusual. Yeah, that's not unusual that would happen either. Your area of the country has a lot of the paranormal going on, and we've talked about it, between us, for a while now, and just like it is here, it seems like there are corridors where there is more activity than other places in the country. And our place here is one of them, and your place there is one of them. Where Juno's at is one of them. And I mean, and I'm talking when I mean by a corridor, I mean you see more than just the spiritual end of things like ghosts and stuff like that, and shadow figures. You see the cryptid activity, you see supernatural activity, and you see the cryptids like we're talking about right now, which is the Thunderbird. And in fact, Corey, if you don't mind, Eric actually uploaded a couple pictures that you had taken, and I'm going to post those right now for everybody to see. Because
one of them is at a distance, is original,
basically,
and then the other one's what I.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. And then I'm going to show you guys something too that will amaze you. Okay, that's the one farther away.
Yeah, that's the one that's going to have 2 different things in it. Yeah, that's the original.
Yeah. And then we got this one. And you can literally see on it'd be my right. I'm not sure what it would be on your all's TV, but or screen. but it would be my right side. You could see the silhouette of something flying inside that storm, and it has been legendary to ride on the outer edge of large thunderstorms because of the size of it, having to have that upper draft underneath its wings to really sustain it for a flight for a long time. But what we're looking at, there are several different things that have basically been introduced as a thunderbird. And we all know that they use the pterodactyl type of a winged creature, like a prehistoric bat wing type of a thing. And then we also have the feathered thing, which is actually part of our history too. And the feathered ones are the ones that I believe are still, or the pterodactyl looking ones could actually be, around still too. They're seen all over the Southwest. So, but this is what I'm talking about here. This is what I have seen. Okay. And let me tell you, it was just as big as what is on the side of that barn. Okay. Those of you that are country folk like Eric and I, you know how big barns are. Okay. And we're not talking a little shed, we're talking barns, Yeah, that's actually what I saw. Okay. And I saw it, and this is what's going to blow everybody's mind in the chat. And David and Melissa, I never told you this, but while Tracy and I were down there a little over a year ago, in the Timberville area, Tracy was shopping at the Walmart down there, and I saw this thing flying with several other turkey vultures, but this one was literally like in the lead, and it shadowed everything that it flew over. It was like seeing a total eclipse of the sun. So,
you know what I find interesting about this photo? Anna, sorry, I didn't see you. Good morning, Anna. I remember growing up in school, they talking about the giant golden eagles and how massive they were. And this looks like one of the photos, except for the barn and the people part, of what they showed and said was a giant eagle. And I'm going, it just dawned on me. Could they have been telling us that these things were this instead of this to, part of the, the indoctrination part? These things never existed. They were this, how the mainstream scientists and teachers and all that do.
Well, they can say these things don't exist all they want, but I can testify that I have seen them firsthand. In fact, I'm gonna look for another picture that I have. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, you know what I mean, though, how they tell you, oh, this is not what these people say they are. This is actually this, and you're going, for me, it's never went well with me when they said it's not this, it's this. I've always been that person to go, how are you going to tell somebody what something is when it's part of their lore, part of their mystery, part of their being, and you're going to say they're wrong and you're right? Come on, man.
Exactly.
Right,
exactly.
Corey, but you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you guys recalled either, but growing up in school, I remember seeing pictures just like this, and they said, "Oh, it's just an up close picture of a golden eagle," and I'm like, "Nah." Yeah, they do.
I hope I have that picture. Let me see here. I'm
I wonder
going
how they
through
got
a
it to
file
spell
right.
outside that block like that. Hey, we got a doctor in the house too, William. If you missed it,
Let's see. Come on.
Poncho's a doctor, so we got a doctor in the house.
A doctor.
Yeah, Poncho.
Oh,
He said he's
good.
a doctor.
That way,
So
if we ever let's see here. I gotta have that picture.
That's gonna be your
Uh,
It's gonna be your new name, Poncho. Is Dr. Poncho.
let's see.
Oh, it's good seeing everybody in here.
I'll come across this picture sooner or later. I only have so many files.
Yeah.
Well, it's not in this spot.
Yeah, Roxanne and even you, Robin, I agree with you both. That's kind of what I was getting at on that statement because it just dawned on me. I was like, I recognize seeing a picture similar to that in a textbook back in, I mean, this was early 80s, a long time ago. Yeah, which doctor counts, Corey? Which doctor counts? You're a doctor too? But that's kind of where I was getting at because I went to the witch doctor. Witch doctor said, "Ooh ee ooh ah ah, ching chang, walla walla bing bang, ooh ee ooh ah ah." Then he shrunk my head. God, now that song's really stuck in my head.
Okay, well, I can't find that picture. I can't believe this. It was a picture. Oh, here we go. I got it. I think this is it. Let me bring this up.
Mm.
Let me just bring this up. Hopefully, this is it.
Bing bing. Man, that was
Nope, that's not it. Darn it. Okay, that's just one. That's just one of the abnormalities that happen around this area.
That is.
Well, now I'll have to go through my archives and try to find that. Yeah, that is something. That's just one of the weird things that happens around this place. Is
Are you talking about that?
So,
are you talking about that photo you sent me of Texas? The one of the pterodactyl?
I don't believe. No, I don't believe so.
Okay.
But you got to understand these things have been they're on totem poles and stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know, they're of creatures, some with winged feathers, and others without winged feathers. Okay. There's this type, which I believe that this could actually still exist. And some people have said, "Oh, all you saw was a crane, coming, in flight." And yes, cranes have a very big wingspan, up to 8 feet. But I know for fact what I saw was as big as a DC-9 or a DC-10 jet plane. It was huge, and it flapped its wings once every, I don't know, probably the smaller ones around the big one when they were flying were basically constantly having to flap their wings. And I don't know if it was because the larger bird was taking the updraft from them, but it just seemed like I saw the big one just flap its wings once, and then it just put its wings straight out and it just soared. And I mean, you talk about silent. There were no small birds, no nothing that were being heard chirping at that time of the day. And this is, right during broad daylight. about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And we had just had reports of that bird, the thunderbird, being seen coming across Maryland into Virginia. Okay. So was it the same one or was it a different one? I don't know. All I can say is that these creatures, there's really no other term for them. They do exist. Okay, we don't have folklore and native legends, indigenous legends of these beings for nothing. Okay, this is just another instance where we as indigenous people have tried to tell the people that aren't from this land what to be aware of, okay, and what to protect themselves from. And after seeing that with my own eyes, I got to tell you that I don't think anybody would have a chance if they got caught out in an open field or something with this thing flying overhead. It makes you feel like you're the mouse in the field that the red-tailed hawk snatches, right off the ground and takes off with it. I've seen that happen several times. I've seen small birds snatched right out of the sky by a red-tailed hawk and by eagles. But this thing makes you feel like you are definitely the prey. There have been reports of the winged entity being all around the world, more than normal in North America, Alaska, Canada, and the U.S. and parts of Mexico. The two varieties that have been reported, the variety south of the border or the southwest area tends to be more like the pterodactyl variety. Okay, more reports along that lines. Whereas the ones in Alaska, Canada, and in the U.S., northern part of the U.S. and East Coast, is more of the feathered kind of bird. Okay, that is seen. Now I have to tell you, this picture here, I have to tell you, the bird that I saw, the huge winged bird that I saw, looked just exactly like a turkey vulture, like a giant turkey vulture. It was jet black. Okay, I didn't even notice any red on it or any white on it around the neck. It literally was jet black, just like tacked up on this barn wall. Okay, just exactly like that. The squareness of the wings, the way the feathers come out, they make more of that square look instead of that arch, that curve. That's exactly what I saw. Okay, and that's what's been reported around here. Now you go probably about an hour southwest of our location, and you'll be in what they call snallygaster territory. Now, snallygasters are more described as this type of a flying creature, okay, which is more like a pterodactyl, okay. So now, when we were talking yesterday about this incident with the dogs, well, this morning we were talking actually, and I told you I do this ceremony every night before I fall asleep, where I pray in my native tongue, and I actually kind of just meditate on the universe around me, and I get signals and I get pictures in my mind of things, and I was literally told this morning at about 3 a.m. That you had lost your four-legged children because something from above got them. And then when we were talking this morning, Eric, you confirmed that you had a feeling of them being snatched.
Yeah.
So, we have a couple ways we can go with. We have, like I said, the Thunderbird theory, or we have the alien theory. We all have heard of alien abductions. And some of us have had that happen. But you have had weird things in the sky out of your area. We've had weird things in the sky here. Good morning, Angelique. A girl and a gong. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Ozzy Sue, for that. That was a very sweet thing to do. That helps out the channel so much. It really does. Yeah, Corey, I think we all hate that feeling. When it comes down to losing our four-legged children, we have to question, and like I said last night or yesterday on yesterday's show, we got to question everything. So what kind of a week has it been? Has there been any other weird stuff that has happened around your place, Eric?
Oh shit! Last night, my God. So I was laying in bed because I was uploading videos so I can get that paranormal investigation out that DA and I did. So I was listening to DA's show, and this has happened before. But I was laying in my bed, kind of stretching my back out, and all of a sudden I heard my daughter's voice go, "Hello," and my daughter ain't here. She's with her mom. She's at her mom's this weekend. And this is not the first time that's happened. So I'm like, "What the hell?" So when I get to listening, I hear things click, bang from time to time. I was like, "Okay, it's just these people doing their crap that they do from time to time." But yeah, it's and then of course, like I said, that's why I kept looking over my shoulder a little bit ago because it sounded like somebody walking in here, and I'm like, I'm home alone. Who the hell's walking in my house? So I pulled out my knife and was like, all right, dude, we're going to do this. We're going to go live, man. We're going to have a shindig. And one of us is going to come away cut up and in a box.
Well, did your daughter that let the dogs out? When your daughter let the dogs out that day or that afternoon, before you got home from work, did she have any strange feelings of something kind of like, how you get that feeling on the back of your neck where somebody's watching you but you can't see them? That
no,
kind of a
she never
feeling.
said anything. I know I checked my game cam footage because they run right.
Whatever. Yeah, whatever it was took advantage of you not being there. So
yeah, she never said anything. I checked my game cam footage because they run in that area where my game cams are. And I seen a glimpse of Romeo, and that was it. And he was hauling ass at something. I mean, it's just a blur of Romeo going. That was the last thing I seen of him, and that was before I got home because it was still pretty daylight. So that was right after she let him out, and she usually gets home around 1600ish time. So and it was around that time that I caught that video, and it just all you see is this black blur of Romeo on my game cam, and then there's nothing. Of course, I have not got no pictures of any deer lately. I don't have pictures of any kind of wildlife. Again, I'm back to that point again where I'm not getting any kind of photos of any kind of wildlife, and I'm not seeing them either.
Now you see,
So
yeah, see that's what's weird, because that's a sign, and as well as I do, that's a sign that there's a bigger apex predator in the area.
Yeah.
That's what basically is going to scare off the normal game. all the game animals are going to run and hide and stay away from that area until that apex predator is gone. Or they think makes me believe that maybe you had some kind of a
excuse me,
a Thunderbird, alien. I mean, we all know that they take bits and pieces of them for whatever macabre experiments they're doing. So I don't know.
Well, and I'm going to load up. I'm going to load up a couple pictures. I want to load a couple pictures up here. Now, this is what I found last Sunday. This is only I found this, which that could be. I showed you this yesterday, and this was right down in an area where they go. And this is the area where Romeo was hauling butt to. Is that natural? Could be. Is it not? It's very strange how it's looking the way it's looking. And then right about 15 feet from it, I find that. I have a new set of prints. Give me a second, guys.
Yeah, that's fine.
There's going to be a lot of noise, so I shut the door. But this is 15 foot from where that tree thing was. And that's right in that area. Those are fresh prints. This is wet ground. We had a lot of storms.
Okay.
So, and that's what's kind of got me bothered too, is that. So, but yeah, I've not had anything on my property here in a little bit. And I was like, okay, sometimes I chalk it up. Okay, it's the dogs running them off. Well, my dogs haven't been here in 6 days, 6+ days. So where the hell's my dogs? Where the hell's the rest of wildlife here? So that tells me, okay, I've got something big running around here.
I'm guessing Poncho's not a believer.
Yeah.
I'm guessing Poncho's not a big believer in Native American tales, huh? So Native American legends.
Yeah.
Oh, now Corey, you're getting into it. Okay. All right.
Yeah, Blue Falcon for me means a totally
just to be a joke today, okay? So you have a brother that.
Yeah, it's but I mean all this evidence. Hey, good morning, Glades. All this was found around this exact same time frame that all this stuff happened.
Good morning, Glades.
So, and every time I project myself out to try to look to see what's happening, trying to feel them, because I can't feel them. Like I cannot feel them at all. I have zero clue where they are. I can't pick up anything. I just keep getting snatched. So, I don't know, man. It is. I mean, sadly, this happens more times than not around here. I mean, I've got cougars, I've got bears, I have 2 different kinds of wolves, I've got coyotes, I mean, I've got bobcats, I've got all kinds of things. I've got the 2-legged critters around here too. I got all different kinds of critters, but usually when something like that takes care of or handles something in a way you don't like, there's usually sign. And there's like no sign. It's just, oh man, this sucks, man. I miss my buddy. I was talking to my brother of mine who gave me him for Christmas last night, man, and I was like, dude, it's just, as much as he aggravated me, I love the hell out of that little dude. I don't have him jumping in my chair with me, and when I'm sitting in my easy chair and he's laying up across, getting his face as close as he can to mine. You got this big old freaking heavy ass pit bull, He's like, snuggle time, daddy. And I don't have that now, I don't have them. You don't know true love unless you know the love of an animal, man. Nobody's going to love you as much as a dog will, My dogs get excited when I come home. If they're in the kennel, they howl until I get open the front door. They're outside, they're following me home, trying to get in my truck with me, going, I've missed you, daddy. and you're sitting there in a state of mind that's not the greatest
Now,
in the
do you
world.
think?
They're showing you love.
Do you?
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. Basically, it might have been sensing or seeing that you weren't around and took advantage of that fact, because there wasn't a human
Yeah.
part of the scenario. I mean, could they be that smart to think that, you know what, if a human's not around, and an easy grab, because if
I.
we're outside with our animals and stuff, we're going to be observant.
Mhm.
We
Mhm.
are, so I don't know, are these things that smart? I mean, look what they say about the raptors back in the day of the dinosaurs. I mean, they say that they and were very, very problem solving, if you know what I mean.
Mhm.
Um, it just would make sense if this thing had enough of a memory to know that if a human's around, they might have a danger of being killed, or at least being found out and injured.
Mhm.
Maybe they're actually waiting for animals to be out on their own. But like I said, there's been reports. There was a child in Ohio, actually. I don't know if anybody lives in Ohio, um, but back in the 70s, I think 78, 79, this 10-year-old child was picked up by a giant bird, and almost carried off until the mother went out with a broom and started smacking at the talons of this bird to let go of her son. Um, and it basically let go of him about 10 foot in the air, and the kid fell down, with the mom catching him somewhat. But there's reports of that all the time. People seeing these things up in Alaska carrying off, like I said, elk and deer. Now, you get a 200-pound deer, I don't care how strong you are, that takes a lot of strength and lift to lift
Mhm.
a 200-pound object, plus a bird that size, off the ground. Okay. Even if it's in the dive motion, like a bald eagle, or a hawk, or a peregrine falcon, um, at that speed, even though they're
Mhm.
in a dive, that they would still need to have that strength and that lift to get that prey, that animal, the prey, off of the ground. So I don't know. You know, I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're just problem solvers too, like the or not.
Well, I never really thought about it, but each time I've had this ain't the first time something like this has happened. And now that I think about it, all times except for one, I haven't been home when it happened. The one time I was home when it happened is when I was got out of the hospital when I almost died from pneumonia, and I was sitting and couldn't hardly move with an oxygen tank, and I had to have an oxygen tank 24/7 so I can keep my oxygen levels up. And um, and I had my poodle taken from me. She vanished. Now I chalked that up to a boar because now I got a picture of a boar on my game cam. But I couldn't go out when it happened because I couldn't move. I mean, I could walk if I took my oxygen off, I'd pass out in about 5 steps. Um, the girl and her gong. You're right.
Hmm.
So that kind of upset me. So it was like 2 weeks after she disappeared, when Freya disappeared, like that I was able to go out and look for her. And I mean, I couldn't find no trace of her too, but I can't say that was related, and I can't say that it was because it was 2 weeks before I can go out and investigate.
So that was
Amber, I can't leave my dogs pinned up. I can't. That is so wrong. I cannot keep them in a house. I cannot keep them on a leash. I cannot. I cannot. I cannot do that to them. I can't. I will never, 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 never keep an animal.
And who would think?
Yeah.
Oh, who would have ever imagined that two very strong canine breeds would be taken out like just disappear. I mean, the only alternative, people, is if there's dog inverse. I mean, we all talk about these missing people in the back areas of a lot of the national and state parks, around the country. Over a million people turn up missing every year, adults, and something like 1 million kids turn up missing. So, something's going on. Something is taking these people. Something's taking these, our pets. Something is taking the wildlife and even the domesticated type of farm animals. And when they come back, if they come back, they come back with missing parts, like missing, udders, ear, or missing an eye, and stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, something is definitely taking.
Now, I've lost dogs to cougars.
Beings. Let's just say beings, because not just dogs. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I got that worked up. Oh my gosh, I had a bunch of them. I've had dogs that I've had lost to cougars or jacked up by cougars. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I know what happens when a cougar gets a dog. I've seen it. I know what happens when a pack of coyotes. A coyote one-on-one ain't going to take down a pit, let alone a pit in the lab. But if you get a pack of them, they can do some damage. Now wolves will put up a hell of a fight and could possibly do it, but there's always sign. There's always sign of something like that actually does it. The only two things that don't leave a sign is a person snatching them up.
Yeah, you would,
or something else snatching them up.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah.
Are there any caves in your area, on your property?
Oh yeah. Oh God, yeah. Well, not on my property, but very close. I'm less than a quarter mile from Niagara River, and the two things that are well known along the Niagara River is Dogman and Bigfoot. Okay. And there's a lot of caves up and down the Niagara River.
Okay. Okay, because I'm just asking, because what would one, to kind of protect it, or or do you think the other dog would have come back?
Oh, they would have protected each other. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, Romeo's a butthole.
Okay.
And so I mean, sometimes he'll go out there and leave somebody out there, but he always comes back. But at the same time, if something's bad in the area, them two would tag team up against whatever's bad in the area. Yeah, and that's funny, Corey, you say that. I've had pit bulls.
That's funny. Corey says, get a Rhodesian Ridgeback, and you won't have that.
Yeah. My pit bulls whoop the crap out of
I had a Rhodesian Ridgeback, and she was a good dog. I'll tell you what, that dog had strong jaws. I used to be able to spin her around and play tug of war with her. So yeah, I've had Rhodesian Ridgebacks.
And that's a fun thing about Thor, man.
They're great dogs.
With Thor, man, I've got this rope. It's like this thick. I mean, it is freaking massively thick. And he would snatch that thing. And I mean, I'm lifting this heavy bastard up by two hands, just swinging him around. He's just like, God dang, dude. We used to have so much fun. He loved playing tug of war, dude.
Now, you don't think you check the local shelters and stuff, animal shelters and stuff,
they don't
too, to make sure that they weren't turned in, right?
They don't come out here. I'm trying to think how to put this on here without getting in trouble. There's reasons why they don't come out here. So there's reasons why you don't see certain entities very much out here either.
Oh, okay.
Usually when they're out here, they handle their business quickly and get the hell out quickly.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't
know.
I don't know how to put it else.
Just
here.
seems awful funny that this thing took advantage of you not being there.
Well, and if something like that would happen, one of my neighbors would have told me. And none of my neighbors know anything. So, yeah, because we kind of keep a close eye on each other. Like about a year ago, I had to chase a couple people off my property, damn near at gunpoint, because they're out there stealing my sassafras. That pissed me off. I despise thieves. I despise a thief. To me, a thief ain't no better than a damn rapist. I despise freaking thieves. And I told him, I was like, you got two choices. You can leave here on your own free will, or you can leave in a pine box. Either way, you're stealing from me, and this is how it's going to be handled. And so, I mean, we're always putting the word out to each other when we see something weird in the area, on both the normal side and non-normal side, if that makes sense. Yeah. So, I mean, hey, Camo Dad, how's it going?
Yeah.
So, if something like that would happen, it's I would have known.
Morning, Camo Dad.
So,
yeah. Well, I mean, for me to get that after doing that little bit of a ceremony last night, and then for you to actually have them being snatched. I mean, and there's no signs around of them being injured or no blood, no signs of like a fight ensued, which you would know if a fight was ensued.
yeah.
But
there's always signs.
Yeah, so that's just the only other thing I could. Yeah, there's always something. There's always something. I mean, no matter how something disappears, there's always usually some way to figure out what happened. I wish I could be there to actually walk the grounds and stuff to see, because there's usually you can judge if it was by a river or water. Maybe something may happen to where one of the dogs got in trouble with water and couldn't swim, and the other one tried to save it, and you never know.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I just have this overwhelming feeling that whatever happened came from above, came down from above. So, yeah, I'm sorry for your loss there, brother.
I appreciate it, man. I'm still holding on to hope that they're just being like me, and there's something in the heat, and they're like, and they're coming back. I'm holding on to hope, but I get the feeling snatched.
Yeah,
I really just get that feeling.
Yeah, and like you said, they shouldn't they wouldn't have gone with somebody they didn't know. So, and if it was somebody on your property, and they did something nefarious to the dogs, like shot, you'd see some kind of sign, So
yeah.
I don't know, and that's just very, very strange.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what.
So again, I ask you guys, do we have a cryptid creature in the area that took him, or do you think that? And I'm putting this out there to everybody in the chat, because we've been racking our brains, Eric and I, all morning and all night about it, and he's been doing it all week, trying to figure out what happened to him. So if anybody has any suggestions in the chat, please feel free. I wanted to show you guys something too. Not to get off the subject, but I know it's kind of hard to talk about. So, but I wanted to show you guys this. Those of you, Juno, brother Juno out there in New Mexico, watch what you say, because there is listening devices and cameras everywhere like this. Now, would anybody have suspected that they would use Sakura cactus to put listening devices in? You know, I'm guessing this photograph was taken around Area 51, or even Dulce, New Mexico, Dulce base. Um, it's just this is just the shit that we tell you guys about. This is the crap that they have been pulling on us, for years now, if not hundreds, if not dozens of years, it's at least 100 years. They've been doing this crap because they don't let us know that they're doing this stuff. Americans are the most surveillanced population in the world next to China. Okay. So, whenever they say, oh, China treats their people real bad and all this, yeah, that's true. I've seen it, but when they get busted with their pants down, the United States government and all of its three-letter agencies, get caught with their pants down with pictures like this that expose them for what they are no better than China, as far as I'm concerned. This is a blatant disrespect to the American people. This is a blatant disrespect, and basically, I believe that it's offensive because what freedoms do we have anymore, folks? With all the technology that our government has and all the three-letter agencies have, what freedoms do we have anymore? I put that question out to you all. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Camel Dad, you're right. They do treat their people bad. Yes, they do.
Yeah.
And we all know what happened to the Muslim population out there and all that. They actually started killing them, genocide, in China. So good morning, Judy. But this is getting out of hand with our country. Where's it going to end?
We used to be known as the freest country in the world. I grew up in the 80s, and we're the freest country in the world, yay, freedom, dude, we're like, I think I can't remember. The last time I looked was about 4 or 5 years ago. We were like number 40. I mean, we're low. We're low on that totem pole of the freest countries in the world. I can't even remember what the number is now, but I know it wasn't lacking much from the bottom. That was for sure. So you guys got to think about that, dude. I mean, we are the most monetized, most. Um, I tell people this all the time. Hey, Mary, I tell people this all the time. You want to know what happens next? Learn what Hitler did. Everything he did is happening to us right now. And until you wake up and see that, I mean, every single freaking thing that's going on to us
It's
right
like
now.
I've always said. Yeah, it's like I've always. Yeah, it's like I've always said, Eric. That I don't believe we won World War II. I think that it was a mutual agreement to both parties involved at the end to not lose any more lives and to just start over. And I think the United States took advantage of Germany offering their science and their scientists and their technology that they have had inquired about through crash removals in the Black Forest. You know, I believe to this day that, you know, it was just a mutual agreement to stop the war. And that's all it was. And they played it up to be a big surrender. Oh, Germany surrendered. You know, I don't believe that happened. You know, and you know, you got to remember, you know, my father was a World War II veteran. You know, him and I used to stay up late at night just talking about stuff. And you know, he was under the impression it was awful fast how it ended, and how they weren't sure whether Hitler committed suicide or not because they couldn't tell.
He did. Yeah, he did.
So,
well, I mean, look at the three places that the Nazis went after World War II. They went to Ukraine, Argentina, and California. Who do you think runs the movie industry? I'm just going to put that out there. Give you something to chew on.
mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if you don't believe me about the Ukraine thing, look at that. What is that damn military group there in Ukraine? The Ukrainian army people. I forgot the name of them. Their army flag is a freaking swastika.
Yeah.
I don't support Ukraine. I don't support something that's not their own country. They're a state of Russia. They never filed for statesmanship. You know, they're just a state of Russia. And what the evil that goes on through Ukraine, people don't realize the evil that goes on through that place. Really, you do not know the evil that goes on in that place. There is so much human trafficking. There's so many chemical weapons that come out of that thing. There's so much money laundered through there. It's not even funny, man. That place is extremely corrupted and controlled by the Khazarian mafia. Yep. Yeah, Robin.
Good morning, Robin. Roger, good morning. I just, you know.
No morning, Roger.
I remember the amount of technology that the Nazis had at the time during World War II, that was unfinished. I believe we took over. I believe the United States took over, you know, back engineering that stuff. And then boom, in 1947, what happens? We get our own. So, I don't know. There's just too many open-ended questions with World War II. So, and I'm not taking anything away from the greatest generation in the world, because they were the greatest generation in the world. You're talking people that, you know, that lived off the land at the time, that had to preserve their own foods, without refrigeration and all that for the most part. And, you know, up until the 60s, most areas of the country, out in the middle of nowhere, depended upon the old wells with the pump handle on them to get their water, you know? So, you know, because unless they were in a big city and had the water through those pipes, you know, but there's just so much that generation succeeded in doing. But I do believe that the one thing that they didn't succeed in doing was winning World War II. I think it came out to be a draw. I really do. I don't know. You know, I've heard the stories that my father and all my uncles would talk about, and it just it strikes me as being that way. That the United States, the CIA, the FBI wanted their technology. And they said, okay, well, you know what? If you give us your technology to back engineer and to take over the, you know, the back engineering of them, we'll put an end to the war, and we'll just pretend to the American people and to the Allied forces that you surrendered to us and that the war was over. You know, I don't know. That just makes sense to me. It really does.
Oh yeah, I mean, and it's pretty close, you know. And Kevin, you made a comment a few minutes ago there, and Kevin, you wouldn't realize you're pretty close to accurate. There's a couple details, or there's one detail that's a little off on what happened, but your location is correct. Yeah, it's I mean, there's if you just wake up and do your own research and you see it, you're going to see the truth, man. Everything we get told is bull crap. We're always led away from the truth. I mean, that's the truth about Freemasons, the truth about our history, the truth about what things are, just the truth about any of that stuff. We are lied to about what is actually going on with that. And I think it's purposely put out there. Either people just are not intelligent enough to do their own research and they just take what somebody says and goes with it, or B, they're paid to do that. Either way, we are not getting to told the truth about a lot of stuff. It's if you do your actual research and not listen to
I agree.
It's I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot going on, but I mean, look, Argentina is a good example. I mean, the true Argentinian does not exist. They were wiped out, and now that's why that's called Little Germany, and why you have a bunch of blonde-haired, blue-eyed folks running around that thing, and why they have a whole bunch of other stuff. Wake up, man! Just wake up. I still know where all the old pump handles wells are located all over. Yeah, man. I've done my fair share of that when I was a kid.
Let me see here.
Probably need to do it now. I won't be fluffy no more. I might be the ever most impressive. If I go back to pump handles, come with me if you want to live. My father was born in 1909. He taught me a lot of what happened there. The whole generation. He came back from Okinawa from the Navy, talking about the people who stood knee high. Yeah. Well, I mean, look at that dude. You want to take something like that, Judy? In World War II, what island was it? God, I can't remember the island. The Japanese had controlled it. The American forces were coming in, and the Japanese knew they were going to get their asses whooped. So they went into the jungle, and all of a sudden they started getting picked off by giants in the middle of that jungle. Actually, Corey, I think it was Corey. Somebody sent me a picture of it. I should have one. I'll show you one of the giants. I actually got a picture of one from that location. But yeah, I mean, this stuff happened, and these locals said, "Don't go in there, dude. You'd never go to the center of the island. Never go to the center of the island." And them Japs went in there and got their butts handed to them. Trying to find. I got so much material. I need to get an external hard drive. I've got so much material on here. I'm trying to remember if it was. It might.
Yeah, I like what Robin says here.
What's that?
Yeah, this pattern throughout history keeps repeating itself. It keeps the public calm and controlled. Very small group that makes the rules. There are unelected, out of sight corporations. A lot of those corporations are actually have been exposed, but nobody believes the people that are exposing them.
Yep.
I'll put here's the end of some of that list. Okay. Right here. I mean, here's who controls the money in the world. Right here.
Yep. George Soros is another one. Klaus Schwab is another one. I was wrong. These pictures actually came from Jesus Payon Jr. I remember.
So, I mean, they're being exposed, but every time we go to there's always something to distract the public from finding out or listening to people like us. Okay. There's always something done to distract. And, that's like with the Ukraine thing. What happened with the Ukraine war and stuff with Russia? You don't hear about that hardly anymore. You only hear about what's going on in Jerusalem and, and Gaza, and you hear about Iran, all this, but you never hear about the whole, and it says in the Bible too, though, not to go off subject, but it says in the Bible that, you're going to hear rumors of war. You're going to hear wars and rumors of wars. Okay.
Yep.
And, how can we trust the media to divulge the truth about what's going on? And I'm not even just talking mainstream media. I'm talking all the small, even us, how can we be 100% positive because we're not seeing it firsthand? You know what I'm talking about? If we reported on wars and stuff, I think you would have to literally be there to report on it so you could have the video proof and the audio proof that there is a war going on. There's just too many coincidences that line up with the whole rumors of war things. It's almost like the U.S. is not taking the wars seriously. Life goes on. Go ahead and fill your car up with $4 a gallon gas, and go buy the meat that's on sale for $29.99 a pound. I mean, come on now, they hit us with inflation and the digital dollar threat, with because of what China and Brazil and all them done, the BRICS nations with their money that's backed by gold. I don't even believe there's any gold in the Fort Knox vault. I really don't.
No, there ain't.
I don't believe there's any gold in the
There
Fort Knox
hasn't
vault.
been. There hasn't been for a long time. I'm a big BRICS supporter. I love BRICS. We need to get away from this Babylonian fiat system that we're in now. I mean, not to sound like a dick, but American control the Babylonian fiat system, and this is what's destroying everything. The American government is. We need to get away from this stupid Babylonian fiat system and get to back to an asset back, which is what BRICS is, and that's why we're getting hurt so bad because people are getting away from this fiat system and going to the BRICS, which is asset back. I've got them pictures loaded up too. I have a dear friend in Ukraine right now. He does incredible historic facts and videos. And
yeah, go ahead.
And that's funny. So those giants I was talking about, folks, is these right here. This is a mummified remains of one of those giants. It was brought back shortly after that island was taken over, which is interesting because if you listen to Norse mythology, they talk about giants having multiple heads too. But this is the mummified remains. You can see his spear, his shield, and these guys were jacking them Japs up. I mean, jacking them up hard. And this has got the deal on there. I need to drop that comment down real quick. Sorry, I want to read this. Kaptawa is the two-headed giant with the height of 12 foot. He was said to be captured by Spanish sailors. He was 1600s. Oh, sorry, wrong giant. But yeah, he was captured in 1600s and mummified. And that's that dude right there. For some reason, I was thinking this was after the World War II one. That's not. This was a different one. But yeah, I mean, look at this dude. I mean, he is freaking huge. So you're telling me giants don't exist? Yeah, we got stories throughout history, even modern history of giants, and here you got mummified remains of one. A massively tall dude. I don't know, folks. I mean, I'll let you guys ponder on that one.
Yeah, they're I mean, giants are definitely a part of our past, and why the powers that be try to hide that fact is is beyond me. I can't even fathom why they would want to do that. I mean, we have things like this that's found all the time. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I
I
mean,
mean, you got
just look at that. Look at the size of that footprint. That footprint is huge.
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, they found the tomb of Gilgamesh. I've got a picture of him too. I've showed on this show mine before. This stuff is out there, folks. I mean, prime example. I'll load one up too. Let me delete these three real quick because I don't want too many stuff on your deal because I know yours gets filled up quick. I always have a habit of deleting my stuff at the end of every show if I can remember. So you got stuff like that. You got stuff like where did I put you? Where did I put you? Where did I put you? Show material. Crap. Actually, this might be under Stone Giants. That's Gilgamesh. Yeah, it's under Stone Giants. I've done a couple shows on this, so I've got two different places with this stuff on here. Because I mean, Giants is one of my favorite topics because it's things that's so misunderstood. And so I was going to load these two up real quick. And these is
Right.
things you can actually go and see and find your own self. I mean, so you got footprints like this, which you and me's got multiple photos of different kinds of footprints of like this stuff like here people can see. And then you can go out in nature and you find something like this. You're telling me nature carved that, dude. Nature did not carve that. I'm sorry. Nature can do a lot of powerful things. They're not going to carve a shape of a humanoid body. Or you can take a Google Earth picture of this. Nature's not going to make that.
Yeah.
Y'all, history. Learn your history.
Well, I mean,
This is what happened.
if you think back, yeah, all the Native American legends of giants, from the
Mm-hmm.
Cherokee to the Lakota
Yep.
Sioux to the Pawnee to the Choctaw, to the Apache,
Mm-hmm.
all had myths and legends about giants, and this is one of them, the red giants that we
Mm-hmm.
stole fire from. So that's just one of the legends of from the indigenous nations. You know, so these things, these beings have been around for a very very long time. You know,
Mm-hmm.
very long time.
Well, look at all these plateaus that's out there that looks like trunks of trees. People say there's no way that our ecosystem could have supported giants. You're full of crap. I mean, back in them days, the oxygen was so pure that you don't need as much to breathe in as we do now. Oxygen was pure back then. There's countless amounts of evidence showing
Right.
massive growth of vegetation. So, yes, it is possible. Very, very, yeah, there you go, right there. A hollowed out tree stump right there. Look at that plateau. I mean, this stuff is there for you to see. It's in the open. You just need to get your mind off of freaking doctrination and open and use your own brain. Don't let people tell you what something is. Listen to what they say, do your own research, and see things for yourself. You're going to find stuff like that. I wish I would have saved a picture of that
Yeah.
one where it
Yeah.
actually has
Exactly.
the petrified axe on the stump. I think that's down in Mexico, wasn't it? If I remember correctly. It's a plateau. Looks like it
Yeah.
has a
I think it
petrified axe.
was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Stuff's there in the open, folks. I grew up where the carnival vaccinated Gibson, Florida, and enjoyed all the arts and crafts. Yeah, I've shown pictures several times here of ancient pictures that show this stuff. And, they tell you, oh, it's just the artist's imagination. You can actually go and find them things right there. I mean, this stuff was written and recorded. They tell us
Right.
to learn history so we don't repeat it. The problem is we're learning their history and not our true history. That's why we're continually repeating history. So the phrase, it kind of aggravates me a little bit when people say, well, what's the point of learning history if it always repeats itself? Because you're learning the wrong history. If you learn the true history, you can keep
Well,
from
are you going to
repeating it.
believe? Are you going to believe? Yeah, are you going to believe that the giants could breathe through a nasal passage as big as a horse's nasal passage? Like say the inside diameter of this, or because if they did breathe through such a small area to catch their breath, the oxygen level would not be 19.5% to 21%. It would have to be more rich of an oxygen, in order for them to sustain such a big mass for them to move. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to catch their breath.
If memory serves me,
you have to, you would
Go ahead,
have to
sorry.
need at least 33% more in size of a nasal passage in order to exist if you were over 50 feet tall. So, to me, when they're talking about the cloud eaters and all that, and the giants that stood a mile tall, how are they going to breathe? That's the thing. They wouldn't be able to breathe. Their sinuses would have to be as big as the hull of a jetliner in order to be that big. In order to catch their breath, they would die. There wouldn't be enough oxygen in the air to sustain themselves. So,
yeah. And back then, oxygen was a lot more pure than it is now. The oxygen purity was like somewhere around, if I remember correctly, like 96%. It was a lot more pure, but there was a lot more vegetation back then too, bigger vegetation back then too. So it was able to clean more and produce more pure oxygen than we have now. Look at all the trees that's been cut down in just our generation. How much more open land is just our generation alone, not counting our ancestors. You know what it looked like then compared to now. A lot of our vegetation has been removed. As far as trees go, and trees and grasslands. It's all been removed. So that's in our oxygen now. Our oxygen purity of our oxygen is extremely low. Our purity of our oxygen is extremely low compared to our grandparents, or let alone our great grandparents and our great great grandparents, and so forth and so on. If you notice through the generations, not only is people's nostrils growing because the oxygen level or purity is dropping. That's why if you get like in a hyperbolic chamber, you get that pure oxygen, and you feel a lot different because you're getting what you can't get out here. Called Giants Camp. It's that
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you got to consider that into the factor too. I'm Team Stump. But so you have to factor that in there too. Is back in them days they didn't have what we have now, so the oxygen was a lot more pure. So it didn't take as much to breathe in and to sustain versus what we do now. Yeah. That's all a big part of it.
I like it.
Darwin was part right and mostly wrong. Darwin was part right and mostly wrong. So when you're thinking of evolution, you can't think solely on Darwin. You have to research the geology side of it and everything else. Because if you stick with just what Darwin says, then where did we come from? Because he can't truly explain 100% where we came from. Now, is there geological records that show that Homo erectus was the first hominid to stand upright? Yeah, absolutely. And it shows down through the years how they formed and changed. On that part, yeah, Darwin was pretty close to accurate, but he didn't factor in several of the other things that came in with it. So does humans evolve with the time? Yes, we evolve with the time, but you also depends on what's going on at a time is how we evolve. So that's why I say Darwin was part right, but mostly wrong. I'm not I'm not a big fan of Darwinism because you don't factor in the geology in the ecosystem of that time. If you don't factor that in, then everything else that we think of doesn't make sense. You have to factor in geology in with the evolution and understand how evolution truly works. Yeah.
And this is something that a lot of the mainstream political parties on this new green energy deal that they want to pass for what 2035 or something like that
Money
to
scam.
improve, something like that. Yeah, well, it's not just a scam. It's something that we we need to take care of our environment. We do. That's our obligation. Okay.
Yeah.
It really is. It's our obligation. But the way that they're doing it is going to cause more problems than what it's worth. For instance, wanting to go to solar batteries and stuff. What are they going to do with all the battery cells when they expire? You can't bury them in the ground because you'll contaminate the ground for hundreds of miles. With leaching and stuff. It just they're manipulating the weather. They're doing all these things that's affecting us. Okay, like the jab. Okay, everybody needs to take the jab. If you don't get the jab, you're not an American. Da 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 da. But you see all these horror stories of 18-year-old, 19-year-old athletes dropping from a heart attack. Way, way too young. Okay. So, they are definitely misleading us for a reason, but why people won't wake up to see that is beyond me. I can't fathom. I can't fathom, first off, if you're going to want a government to give you everything, then they can take everything. Think about it. Okay. If you want a government that gives you everything, then they can also very easily take everything from you. The easiest way to control masses of population is through fear and fear only. Okay. And look what they're doing. They're doing the fear through food, through water. They're
entertainment.
These train accidents and derailments along rivers. We've got these chemical fires putting pollutants into the air that we breathe. They've got the preservatives and the dyes in food that we eat and drink. I mean, think about it, man. They are culling us. They are, just like they're culling millions of chickens every other week. They're culling their own people. Okay, they don't care about you and I. Okay, they don't. They don't. Let's face it. And the better off we are when we all realize that, because you know what happens when the ants in the anthill rebel against the one queen. I'm not going to say the R word, which is revolution, but why do you think Argentina is like the best place to live now? Because they got a president in there that actually gives a shit about their people. Okay. So,
we are meant to be the shepherds of this world. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's our place. That's why I always say I practice forestry and animal husbandry on my property. I'm a big, big, big believer in we are the shepherds of this world. And so if you guys, the idea of going green, I love it. How they have it set up, absolutely not. It's a freaking scam. You want a absolutely true Green Deal, Nikola Tesla. The stuff that Nikola Tesla was doing is 100% pure, clean, and usable and sustainable free energy. That is your true Green Deal, not this crap that this government's putting out. And they hushed Nikola Tesla up for a reason, because it would not cost us anything to have this stuff. I mean, the man was brilliant and had so many things, and then all of a sudden, hey, he's a fraud, or he's done this, or somebody stole his ideas because they can't make money off it. Don't go off what these crackheads in Washington are telling you. I mean, they're the great North American crackhead up in that damn place. Learn history, learn the truth, but the people who actually got out and did it. If you actually study Nikola Tesla and what he created and the things he was doing, you'd understand what I mean by this Green New Deal and what kind of farce it freaking is. And if you actually study the bill, you'd crap yourself, because it's not what they tell you it is.
Yeah.
So I mean, just think about that.
What they did lately. I mean, yeah, the bill that they just recently passed, unanimously, practically. They had like 40 of them abstain from voting, which were Democrat and Republican. But the rest of the majority of them did vote for it. Is a new bill that makes anti-Semitism illegal. Okay. Now here's the thing with that bill. Okay, they just passed it on Friday. That bill, what do you think's going to happen? They're going to come after every religion that isn't Jewish, okay? And they're going to mark you as being anti-Semitic. They're going to take your Bible from you, okay? And they're going to take whatever religious freedoms you thought you had from you and strip you of them and prosecute you like criminals. That's what they're going to do. That's another fear factor for mass population control. I mean, you're talking to two military veterans right here, okay, who have seen the way that our military controls populations through propaganda and all that, and through repetitive things. You know, you say something enough times, sooner or later, it's going to get believed, okay? That's what's going on. It's MK Ultra at its finest. It really is. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
if you all like, yeah, it's, I don't know.
Well, you think about this, you know. Oh yeah, you know, it's like I said earlier, dude. If you want to know what happens next, study what Hitler did. What they just passed Friday is exactly the same crap that Yahoo did, you know. And on top of that, you know, if you don't believe Nikola Tesla's technology, look at all the obelisks around the world and what our ancient ancestors, they had electricity. How did they do it? What was the Great Pyramid of Giza and how it operates? What did it produce? It all went off the natural energies of the earth. Nikola Tesla just took that idea and advanced it. This stuff is out there for you guys to see. You can see this crap that they're putting.
Yep.
You can read history and then see what will happen there, and you can see what's happening now. You can take history and see what this happened in and what we could do now to better. We the people have the power. We the people control everything that happens, but we've been told that they do. They ain't crap. There are lackeys. They are employed by us. We have the power. So it's up to the people to take the power and come back. No, we're not doing this. This is what we're doing. But tell the people do it. It's like I've always said, united we stand, divided we fall. We are divided, and we're purposely divided to be that way. Let's get back to the true ways. Let's get back to the true ways of Mother Earth. Let's get back to the true ways of the nature of law. Let's get back to the true God-given rights that we have been given. Let's get back to our Constitution.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, everybody, it's been a very, very lengthy talk today, and I appreciate everybody in the chat, and thank you again, Ozzy. If you can, please like, heart, and share this out. Even though we all don't agree eye to eye on some things, doesn't mean we can't work through finding out what's happening. Okay.
Absolutely.
Whether it's supernatural, whether it's paranormal, whether it's cryptid, or whether it's political or, acts of certain governments and stuff, we may not see eye to eye on everything, but that's what makes us unique. That's why we come to these platforms and we discuss it, and we open it up like a book, and we try to see it from all angles. Okay. It's like if I take a drum and I put a drum in the center of a group sitting around in a circle of chairs, everybody's going to see that drum in a different way. Okay. They're going to look at it. It's going to have a different type of a rawhide section of it. It's going to have a different color on it, or a different texture, or whatever. But everyone in that circle is going to see that drum in a different way because their perspective. And that's why we do this. And I want to thank Angelique. I want to thank Eric for being here, Judy, Robin, Girl in her Gong, just everybody, Corey, Juno, all you guys, you guys are awesome. Kevin, good.
Yeah.
It's great to have you on here. Roxanne, Judy, Blades Creatures, Poncho, everybody, you guys, you don't understand that, you guys, even though we are not physically together, that your comments in the chat and stuff are very valuable. Okay. And you may see something from a different perspective that we see it from. And that's why we hold these chats on Saturday and Sunday morning, So with that being said, you're probably going to see me tomorrow night at 11 o'clock for Into the Red Rabbit Hole. Okay. Because I didn't do it this past Friday because of the bad lightning storms. So I'll be coming on at 11 o'clock tomorrow night, Eastern time. And then, Eric, I don't know if you want to, tell them where you're going to be today and all that, and we'll call it a day.
Yep. So you guys can follow me on my channel, The Bizarre and the Unknown, and I have a special guest today, tonight, who's going to be that's in our chat with us, the Cryptid Hunter, blah 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 blah. The Cryptid Huntress herself, Miss Jessica Jones, will be joining me tonight, and we're going to be talking about the different ways to investigate cryptids, paranormal, supernatural. It's going to be a rock. I mean, I got a rock star coming on tonight, y'all. I know I'm a rock star. Jessica's the rock star, so it'll be a fun night. It's going to be great. The other guest I was trying to get on, he's not going to be able to make it, so that's okay. We're still going to rock it. Giddy, you. All right. So we're going to it's going to be fun, man. So you guys can find me tonight on my channel at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time, and let's have a great night, man. Peace and love to all you guys. You guys are amazing people.
Who knows? I may join you.
Heck yeah, dude. If you want to come on, you let me know. I'll shoot you link in a heartbeat, brother. See, I like different aspects on investigations.
I think everybody might be getting sick of me today.
Hell no, we can't get sick of you, dude. Shit. No, I mean, the thing is, I like different aspects of investigation because if we don't look at all aspects, we don't know the truth. My way of doing things is different than your ways or her ways or others. I mean, we have different ways, but if we come together, we can pick apart the good and the bad in each one and come out with a good thing, dude. That's what I like. So yeah, no, it'll be a great show tonight. You guys, I hope to see you guys there. Thank you, the girl.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, with that being said, everybody, we love you guys very much in the chat. You guys are just as much extended family as our own family, and we value your insights and your suggestions and your topics that you talk about. So, thank you all very much for being here. Robin, like I said, good to see you. Juno, brother, you keep your head up and watch your six back there in Dulce, okay? So, love you, brother. You just watch yourself, okay? Because things are definitely going to start getting a lot more weirder than what's happening right now. So, and it's just only going to get worse, guys. I hate to say that. I really don't. But please like, heart, share this out. Subscribe to the channel. If you feel like you want to support the channel in some way, go to the Into the Red Rabbit Hole bonfire store and pick up a t-shirt or a coffee mug or something. We have several t-shirts, and we must have like 20 t-shirt designs on there and about 8 mug designs. So, if you can, just go check it out, see if you know what you like. And I do know Jessica has a site called War Woman's Goods, okay, on Etsy. Okay, so you go there and you support Jessica by buying some beautiful jewelry. Okay, you can go to Amazon and type in E.D. Testerman on Amazon, and you can, help support Eric with his books that he writes. So, it's been a good day, a good Sunday. Everybody enjoy it. But believe me, always, always question everything. Okay. Don't take everything that we say as 100%. Always do your own investigation on top of it. Okay. So, because we are by far not experts, we are just people that have lived life. Okay. So, God bless you all, and we will see you next time. Okay. And I'll see you tomorrow night at 11 o'clock Eastern evening. Okay. So everybody have a great, great night, and we will see you tonight on Eric's program. Take care, everybody.
Yeah.